Hi, folks. My name is Girish, Bali, the host for Back2Basics, another Back2Basics for another week. I'm so excited today. I've spoken to this guest numerous times offline, in LinkedIn, and then we had a phone call too, and now we're back here, and we talked for at least 5-10 minutes right before this recording, and it seems like she's a great person to chat with. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about personal brandings. And personal brandings is one thing, but then you know what? Striving in LinkedIn on personal branding is another. So today we're going to talk to you about LinkedIn personal branding, of how to image yourself in a good way, in a better way, in the best way. So this is why I invited her into this call, and she's amazing. So Ilya, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back2Basics.
Thank you for having me. I am honored to be here with you, sharing, a great time together.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you again. So before we get into all the other personal branding and LinkedIn and all what you do or don't do, what does Back2Basic mean to you?
It's simplicity. It's keeping and streamline anything that doesn't serve me. That's what back to basics sounds, feels, and resonates with me.
Wow, awesome, awesome. I think that's what you said even on the questionnaire that I sent you. I've actually even asked you offline when we first met each other. And today is the same answer. So thank you again for coming on the show and supporting me here so far. So, how tough is it to brand somebody? Is it easy, or is it a hard work and then it just becomes natural? What are your thoughts on that?
I believe it is a compounding process. It starts adding up. And unless you have a clear understanding of who you are, what you do, or what you want to do, who you help and how, then it's different. It's going to change. And sometimes you might not be able to get all these answers on time or on one short period of time.
Hmm.
And I find it that the more you ask yourself these questions, the what you want to do or what you want to be known for,
Hmm.
especially in the online world, well, the better.
Hmm.
So, and this is why it's so simple that people makes it complicated.
Hmm.
We consider when we think about LinkedIn, suit and tie, corporations, and that you gotta give your best answer, your best knowledge. You need to be seen as the expert, or really
That's right.
your words do not matter, and
Hmm.
that's not the case.
But okay, so let me ask you this here. So personal branding could be many different things in different platforms, right? For example, I can have a beer in my hand and I have a swimsuit or swim shorts and a cap on. I'm not going to put that on LinkedIn. I'm not going to I'm going to put it on Instagram. I'm going to put it on Facebook because that's a different platform, a different uh, variety of that social media. So, do you think every social media has a different niche to their certain viewers? I mean, what are your thoughts on that part?
I believe that every social media platform might have the same person, but the mindset when you are on each platform, it's completely different, and that you go to each one of them for a particular purpose.
Hmm.
For example, I go to Instagram because my business started on Instagram, and
Hmm.
I know that I serve individuals, and I know that I serve women that are there maybe finding entertainment, but
Hmm.
also finding or looking for guidance,
Hmm.
maybe looking for a person or a role model they can start one either emulating, then one second finding uh, some help.
Hmm.
But when you are on LinkedIn, because of how it all started, and it all started as the place where you would dump all your work experience
Hmm.
with the end goal of finding a job, with the end goal of having visibility to organizations and their, any job demands or opportunities that you would like to have. But these evolve over the years. But still, you are finding very centralized, very focused information. You go there to find information, to find a person that you might need to connect with, or that you might need to contact because it becomes a part of maybe the organization you are targeting, that client, because it comes from for a corporation.
Yes.
And the nature of your business is business to business targeting.
But Ilya, let me. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, please.
It's okay.
So let me ask you. So let me ask you this here, because there was this lady that I was speaking to a couple of weeks back, and when I mentioned that LinkedIn is a platform to network with different people, on top of finding jobs, she said, "I thought it was only to find jobs." So it seems like not a lot of people still know that LinkedIn is all about jobs, networking, collaboration, writing out articles to collaborate with other associations or other people that you want to collaborate with and get more clients. So what are your thoughts on that part? Because it seems like, is LinkedIn not educating people that this is more than just finding jobs?
It completely evolved. The platform has evolved from the point of view of business to business, or corporations dictate the content. Specialized magazines or social media platforms like Medium, Forbes, Inc., etc., would dictate the topics people were talking about. And the more they share those specialized or industry related topics, people will reshare the information. But now the content comes from the individual, the community, the network, and not necessarily being professional means that you are a part or belong to a 5,000 employee company. Being professional means that you have a small business in your city, in your area, and you are making yourself visible by building up your thoughts, your expertise, your branding, but especially your thought leadership. I believe strongly that LinkedIn now, beyond CEOs, beyond VPs, is for leaders. LinkedIn is for those leaders, and leaders doesn't mean that you had to have exited 3 companies that you took them to being public or trading the stock market. Absolutely.
So okay, so let me be clear, if that's okay, and can I speak with my audience 1 second? So guys, if you go to my LinkedIn page, right, it's Girish Bali, and that's the profile. If you go there and go to the section where it says recommendations, there are a lot of people that I have worked with. There's a lot of people that I have interviewed as guests, and I'm pretty sure she'll be recommending me with all the reviews. If you go there, people will see that which people that I have talked to, collaborated with. In my case, I have interviewed people. So that is my testimonial as how Girish Bali is going to be as a review. And it's good to recommend other people, to write notes, to write reviews about you. Let's say if you invited me and I'll write something about you, that's how it works. It's almost like rating people. Okay, but in a good way, and not in a criticism bad way. So if you go to my website also, back2basicmode.com, there's a section where it says testimonial. I have put reviews on there. So I want people to know that these are the people that I have collaborated with on my podcast. Did you see how I did that? So I used the whole data from LinkedIn into my website and made that as a big database. So Ilya, thank you again for explaining that. I needed to explain to people that it's a whole big tool that you can make this happen. So thank you again. So regarding articles and newsletters, it seems like it is a huge thing today. Why is that and not previously? Is this a new feature that it just came in?
Indeed. And what people didn't understand before the articles, we didn't know that LinkedIn was taking this long form content type. And I would make the difference between long form content and short form content. The long form are articles, which are, it can have, GIFs. It can have a very explanatory sections of whatever topic you decide to cover within that article. The good thing and the advantage is that Google is indexing your LinkedIn articles, and people noticed it and they are now exploiting it. So now, but prior to January 2022, LinkedIn newsletters was only a feature that could be accessed by being invited to use the feature. So those who were either in the influencer program of LinkedIn, which are CEOs, artists, celebrities, and real, high figures in around the world, were those only who have that tiny in mark and their profile just right beside their name. Nobody can access to the influencer program, but LinkedIn assigns that special recognition. Now, so these newsletters were actually assigned by invitation. So if you had a really large following and network, then you would be a candidate. You could actually reach out support, or maybe contact certain people within LinkedIn, but it still wouldn't guarantee that you would have access to LinkedIn newsletters. Now, with creator mode, you have automatically access to LinkedIn newsletters and LinkedIn live video.
Yeah, definitely. So, I'm a creator mode also, and I've done LinkedIn Live, as you know, and I've done some newsletters and articles on Back to Basics too. So it is definitely a new feature that I learned, and it's working really well. So let me ask you this here. So we're not going to talk too much about it because we don't know too many details about it, but we know basic stuff about it, which is Back to Basic, right? It seems like LinkedIn is coming out with their audio platform also, just like Clubhouse. So we know very little about it, and I think it's going to be very similar to Clubhouse. Can you explain a little, and have you tested a little? And I think you have. So what are your thoughts on that?
I am super excited. I was on Clubhouse since January 2021, so I had a great arena. I've hosted probably 200 to 300 rooms on Clubhouse. So when the news were released this past January that we were going to have the first beta testers on LinkedIn audio, I was over the moon. I am not a beta tester, but I have multiple friends from Clubhouse who are now my buddies, my pals, who I share conversations and rooms on a weekly basis, on a daily basis sometimes, are beta testers, and I've been invited to co-host multiple rooms. So one of these, it is fantastic. First of all, because your network, it's curated. Obviously, you might have better connections than when you have followers on Clubhouse. You really don't know the people that are on Clubhouse, but you really know who your connections are, or at least your followers. And if you don't know them, you can easily investigate who they are. You can go visit their profile.
Sure.
You can check everything. And that is what makes it more interesting, more focused, more targeted. And that's a potential. I actually was earlier before on a LinkedIn audio event, which that's how we call it. We call them LinkedIn audio events. On Clubhouse, we call them rooms. I still call them rooms. So I was earlier before on this room with Ash Rathod, who is a great storytelling coach. And the event was called LinkedIn audio or audio as a resource is the future of storytelling.
Hmm.
And I joined the stage and I say, no, it's not the future of storytelling. It is the
Hmm.
present of storytelling.
Hmm.
And this podcast is actually great evidence because we are in real time. We
That's right.
are talking about something that has been happening for a long time, but now we have social media platforms which are dedicating a channel for only audio. I don't think there is something more powerful than being two people, three, a group in one place virtually and talk about a topic. I think it's absolutely powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been in your rooms and on Clubhouse, and you've been on mine also. You know, the people in the room itself. Okay, I call it a virtual conference room, and that's how I explain to other people that what is this whole Clubhouse thing, right? And in this case, even LinkedIn is the same way. It's a virtual conference room. So what I noticed is everyone around the world, okay, is in this one room. Okay, people from UK, people from US, people from India, people from Russia, people from everywhere around the world in this one room. So it seems like the world is getting smaller day by day. Do you feel that same way when you uh, has compared between the two audio platforms now? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, 100%. And I know look, Clubhouse has already 2 years
Hmm.
of growth.
Hmm.
LinkedIn has only month and a half or close to 2 months.
Hmm.
And the platform still, the LinkedIn audio events are very glitchy. Every time I join, I generally join from my phone, from my mobile. I haven't been able to join from my desktop, which is great. You can switch between your phone and your laptop or your computer, and the sound will not lower the quality. It's
Lower the quality.
great quality, which is fantastic. It is still glitchy when I joined the stage, when I accepted to be up on stage and ready to talk. My screen starts flashing, but it doesn't matter. We know it is only in beta testing. They are recording the sessions in order, one, to remain secure
Yeah.
because they are not allowing trolls or people disturbing the conversation, but also learning about what are those defects, that those glitches and bugs that they find in the app, so they can, improve the quality. But
Yeah.
I
So
absolutely love
I
it.
mean, this is where my technology cap comes on. In Clubhouse, when Clubhouse first came, it was kind of glitchy too, and then slowly they kind of learned, and now it's gone so much better. So I think it's a time, and eventually when it launches out, it'll launch out with a blast. I'm pretty sure it will. So it's just a learning curve. So thank you
Exactly.
again for all the insight of what this Clubhouse, I'm sorry, this LinkedIn audio is all about, and what this Clubhouse audio is all about, and the
I'm
comparison between the two. Now, before we go a little further, can we explain to people who you are and what you do, and why did I bring you here?
Oh, and I am absolutely honored by you, considering and inviting me over. I am a Venezuelan immigrant to Canada who happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I fell in love with, this social media platform. But I'm by trade, I am an industrial engineer who came to Canada 11 years ago with the goal of obviously improve my quality of life, because back in my country things were getting truly uh, really hard in terms of safety, like personal safety,
Hmm.
in terms of the economy, in terms of access to better income, better resources. And I simply, came to Canada. I studied English, and it happens that 2 days before leaving the country, I met my husband. So,
Hmm.
things that happens with, your destiny. And whenever you think about changing your life, well, life, brings you a series of great opportunities. And I'm
Hmm.
here. So I was here. I work for software companies. I am a health and safety advisor currently for
Hmm.
a large gas corporation, a worldwide company.
Hmm.
But back in 2017 and 18, because of the success that I've had with being on the platform, being visible, keeping my LinkedIn profile current, up to date, I was always headhunted. I was always reached out by recruiters, receiving interview messages or proposals to for those job opportunities that were all getting, opening and coming up from time to time. And I rejected many. But
Hmm.
then I realized there's something good that I might be doing.
Hmm.
And I wanted to crack the code. So I started doing my research, and I started reading more and more about, these by 10 in 2016 and 17 experts about the secret of the organic reach and the potential that LinkedIn was providing at that time. The LinkedIn is the new Facebook. And I said, I gotta know what's going on. And I realized that the only secret that those coaches were charging thousands and thousands of dollars was the art of social selling. It
Hmm.
was it was not the ability of create your virtual store and say, well, I am here, I am ready for you to come and buy, and nobody will come.
Hmm.
But social selling is the art of building the true relationships with that specific point of view. What is the specific point? Is that those potential customers, those people who become your followers, and then they like your content, and they start talking to you, and they start sharing that they have certain needs that they have been resonating with as a result of you sharing content, sharing insights, and more insights. They will find that they need your help, that they need your expertise for guidance, for taking the next step, either in career or
Hmm.
either in their business.
Hmm.
And I realized, and I said, like, is this the gold mine? I cannot believe it.
Hmm.
So I found, and I started sharing all the basics from social selling, and I compiled it in a course, in a 3-week course. And by then it was a cohort. So it was a live course. It was not a recording or a webinar. I
Hmm.
had by then my first 7 students, and I could not be happier with the results that they had. And I
Hmm.
said, well, I think this is my call. This is what I really want to pursue. And I haven't gone back ever since.
Wow, that's amazing. I found your name from another LinkedIn person that I interviewed, and I said I need to hijack you into this podcast of mine because you have so much of knowledge of what to do and what not to do on LinkedIn. And hopefully my profile is okay, and you snapped it around and you saw what I did, and hopefully I did okay. So everyone watching, please do review my profile because I always want to learn from a guest of mine and you and everyone else. So thank you again for being here too. Now, before you leave today, and we have talked a lot about personal branding, and we talked about how to present yourself in a good way, and how to get a proper job or someone contacting you saying that your profile is totally awesome. How was your trip to Back to Basics, and do you have any last words before you leave today?
Oh, absolutely. So the back to basics to personal branding is define your goal, regardless of the platform that you decide to choose.
Hmm.
What is your goal? And make sure that you find what are the gaps between that goal and your present moment. If your gaps are because you are not sharing that person that you are right now, that transparent self, that best self, with the intention of building your thought leadership, building your expertise, becoming the go to expert, giving that content that proves it, that proves whatever you decide, that you want to be.
Hmm.
Find it, find the gaps, and then show it. I find, for example, on personal branding, one of my most recent clients is the CEO of an institution,
Hmm.
and him as a CEO had a very good profile, but his narrative. Remember, your profile, it's like it's the person that you are right now, but that never sleeps. that is always available. So
Mm.
it's all a conversation, from your banner to your headshot, to your headline, to your about section. And your about section needs to come from the point as if you, both of us, the reader and you, were talking about is your story. So he had this about section, very resume style like. And we don't talk that way. When you introduce yourself to a person, you don't say, I am a professional with 10 years of experience. I am this and that. The conversation is natural. And you start talking about a little bit of your story. You give us why you're here. What is your approach? What moves your blood? What makes you passionate? That is a great about section. And it makes sure that, from the about to the headline, to the experience, to the recommendations, to your skills, everything says the right narrative about you. You want to be the CEO, but right now your skills tells me that you are an executive assistant. Well, there is a discrepancy and people see it. People get confused and people get turned off. So they walk away. So make sure that the narrative of you, the person that you really want to be known for, it's all over your profile. That's my best condensation of personal branding. And then it all becomes a matter of the dynamics. The dynamics is your content. You need to be out there. You need to share content, whatever the format you decide.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for explaining that in very much detail and basic way also. Even the simplest thing can change your life. So I think that's what you explained, and thank you again for being here and supporting me as usual on here. And we're gonna be friends, obviously, even offline. And you're a great person, a great resource. And hopefully, I'll see you on Clubhouse. Hopefully I'll see you on LinkedIn Audio. Hopefully, I'll be one of the people that you can invite me as a beta tester also. So thank you again for being here and supporting me.
I'll be more than happy to do it. Once I have access, you will be one of my VIP list.
Awesome. So you heard that, guys. Okay, VIP list. Okay, so thank you again. God bless. So, guys, we spoke to Ilya today, and we talked about the basics of LinkedIn, and we talked about the personal branding. Now, it's very important to brand yourself in a nice way, in a cool way, in an excellent way. And that's what she did. She explained it. Fill out all the blanks as much as you can, but in a casual way, just like you talk to your friends. So, as usual, as always, there's a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and I hope my guest likes the quote of the day. And the quote of the day is, personal brand that is visible online creates opportunities. I think that's what she said too, didn't she? So as usual, as always, what do I always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and comment as much as you can on all the episodes, including this one, because I'll learn from you. Because my personal branding is your input, and that's the only way to do it. And all the episodes, including this one, there are 3 things that I always make sure that it's content, the guest, and definitely the host. Guys, take care, God bless, and I will see you next week on Back to Basics. Next week's episode on Back to Basics.
With every possible scenario, like, it's just do what you need to do, be happy with it, and be kind of grateful that and maybe lower your expectations of what you should or do in life, and just enjoy where you are in that moment. Either be good or bad.
I asked you the question when we were booking this call today, and I asked, what does Back to Basic mean to you? And you said it means everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's correct what you're saying, right? I mean, it's all about life and business and whatever you're doing.
I may have answered the wrong question there on your form. I think I meant what do you want to talk about?